Matrix DC Comics Review Show number
Two
251?
247.
247. Okay, I wasn't sure what,
247.
what your fingers were giving
I
me
didn't
there.
have enough to Eli it.
The thumbs were hidden underneath the camera, so I just saw
Yes,
like a
it's
4 and a 1. I'm like, and then you like raised
40.
one hand. Like I saw 5 and a 1. So like 40, 50.
Somewhere in there, my camera. I need to
Yeah,
adjust
so
that a little bit.
247.
Yes, sir. 3 more
uh,
weeks until we have been in your ear holes for 250 weeks.
and in 3 weeks, we'll phrase it much differently, so it's not creepy.
Says him.
I don't want to be in someone's ear holes. What the fuck?
That's where you want to be if you're an audio. If you're
Yeah,
audio,
I
you want
want
to
to
be in
be in
someone's
their,
ear hole.
maybe in their brain. Just the
Ew,
way you
no,
say
that's a
it.
worm.
They're I don't know. A worm is currently the Secretary of Health, so.
Yeah, I don't know. Doesn't mean it's okay.
No, but I mean, like brain worms can get up in places, man. 1 second you're just like looking for food. The next thing you know, you're running a country's health service. Like, what the fuck
And
happened?
going on national TV saying, I don't think anybody should be taking health advice from me. That's a totally different story, though.
It's my personal headcanon that the worm inside RFK's brain is just like a brain slug from Futurama.
No, 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 no. It's Mr. Mind, dog.
Mr. Oh God, yeah.
It's Mr. Mind.
That's why everything's so fucked up. He's trying to take over the world.
That's why he talks like this and everything.
Whew.
Oh, that
Well,
motherfucker's broken. Whole bunch of shit is broken, but that's okay.
yeah, that also makes a good transition back to the point of this show. It's DC Comics Review Show
Oh, yeah, that's
time,
right.
week, time of the week. It's Thursday nights, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry we were a little late. Joshy Washy Uwu over here had a little bit of a dental appointment.
Yeah. Has some
Yeah.
stuff pulled out. If you see me dribbling blood, tell me, people. Okay. I like
Yeah.
this shirt.
Just get a bib. I don't know. That's what I do with my son when he's dribbling.
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah,
forgot. I
yeah.
don't even know why I didn't think about going right over to my bib drawer and grabbing out a bib.
Well, shit. Go do it.
Is it because my youngest kid is 9?
Because you're in your 40s? They don't fit you anymore?
Oh,
Yeah,
it's been a long time since I've had
yeah, that's fair. Well, with that,
it.
yeah,
With that,
we are here
and few
to
other
talk
things.
about the week's DC Comics releases et al. Um, Meaning and other. Because there's usually other books we were reading among the weeks. I haven't had much time to read much extra this week, though. I feel like that's par for the course. Every week we're
No,
like,
and
yeah, there's so many books we're reading. By the way, I haven't had time to read it.
no, and for the last, I don't know, month and a half, I've been really failing that. I have caught up on all of the honorable mentions that I've needed to read,
Right on.
and um, uh, I've caught up on Catwoman. That's really good.
Yeah.
Zatanna, also really good.
Zatanna
Year
is really
one,
good.
also really good. And believe it or
What
not,
year? Okay, sorry, what year one?
Oh, I'm sorry, Batman and Robin year one.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah, haven't gotten our hands on Mr. Terrific yet, but
Yeah,
that's
that
coming.
doesn't come out. I think that's next week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Or yeah, I think so.
yeah.
And the DC and Sonic Hedgehog crossover is actually a pretty good comic book, and that's
It's
coming from me, not from
surprisingly
Dash.
good. Well,
Yeah,
honestly, the Sonic comic books have always been pretty decent. Seriously,
yeah,
in my
but it's
opinion.
like that's not me saying anything against Sonic. That's me
Yeah,
saying something against crossovers. They don't
fair.
usually, they're
Yeah,
none of those are
they're
getting
usually
nominated for
pretty
Eisners.
cheesy. No, like
Hmm.
that's what I'm saying. Like they're usually pretty cheesy, but they're fun little, like, think Expendables, think
Yeah,
like turn off your brain and read an action adventure romp, right? That's what you're getting from these intercompany crossovers, and they're just fun. That's all they are.
It is fun, and
Yeah.
honestly, that's not been the case with the last two DC crossovers that I've read. The multiversity one. Did I say that right? Not
What do you mean
multiversity.
multiverse?
The
Multi
multiverses
all
one.
multiverses. Oh,
Yeah, the one that was just out. They
yeah.
just did like a 6 or 7 issue
Right.
mini on it.
Worlds
That
collide or
one
whatever.
was really good,
Yeah.
and then this is really good as well. And it surprised me that they were that well written.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it's
there,
taken I can't remember who the writer is, but it's clear he's taken a lot of good interest in Sonic the Hedgehog lore.
yes,
Um and done a
it
really good way to just bring DC heroes into it.
yeah, yeah, exactly. This is not squishing Sonic into DC. This is kind of squishing DC into Sonic,
Yeah.
and I like that. The way that
Yeah.
it's written, that's good stuff, man.
Yeah. Like some of my I haven't read every single crossover, but some of my favorites Sonic and DC so far is actually pretty good, but I'm gonna judge it fully by the end. But for me, it's Star Trek Green Lantern, the Spectrum
Okay.
War. I don't remember if that was the first or second one, but it's the first one. I've liked them both really. And I really like Justice League Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. That one was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That one
See,
was
Power
really
Rangers,
interesting.
and I think my go-to characters for enjoying crossovers, and this goes all the way back to me being a kid,
Right.
it's the Ninja Turtles.
Oh yeah, and they've got crossovers with bloody everybody at this point. In fact,
Everybody,
leads me to a point of news. I want to
everybody but the Power Rangers,
say
I
it was
think.
Boom Studios has just announced a third TMNT Power Rangers crossover. Yeah, so
Sick.
that's three TMNT and Batman, three TMNT and Power Rangers. I think TMNT has had Godzilla. I want to say
Masters of the
they've.
Universe. That, I mean, there's been all kinds of stuff.
Mhm.
They're not. They haven't done Motu yet. That's just the toys, but I'm sure
Yeah.
there's something coming.
I want to say they've interacted with Marvel characters at some point, but don't quote me.
I will.
Thank you. I asked you not to, and you politely agreed. I appreciate that, good sir.
It's what
Uh,
I'm here for.
Politely agreeing? I disagree
Politely
with
agree.
that. Well, there's very few times we politely agree with each other. Yeah, no, that's the crossovers. Just they're harmless fun. They're out of
Tend to be.
continuity, and it's the equivalent of being a kid and taking your toys and mashing them together in a fun
Yep.
way, right? And
Oh
I'm
yeah.
all for that. On my desk right now, I've got a 2008 Armor Iron Man. I got two Constructicons, uh, Ranger from Power Rangers Lost Galaxy, and I've got Connor Kent Green, not Connor Kent, Connor Hawk Green Arrow, and that just screams like, let's do a crossover, and I'm all for that.
Your phone's going off.
Yeah, I forgot to put it on vibrate. Sorry.
That is
Okay.
vibrate.
All right, I mean silent. It also like just updated today, and I gotta fucking find everything again.
Yeah, isn't that nice? The new. I'm
Uh,
assuming that's a Samsung.
I think so. Is it? I don't remember.
Yeah, it switched up
Yeah, it's the
everything. You
flip.
got to
It's the
drag
flip.
from one side or the other, and then your search bar is at the
Yeah,
bottom
and
instead of
like
the top.
now I don't even know. The button was just okay. There it is. Jesus, for silence. Like, god damn, dude. And it happened like this afternoon. I haven't had an opportunity to go through all the changes. All I know is that this brings down the notifications, and this brings down the settings.
Yeah,
Why?
well, I've had it like that for a
Why?
week now, and I still have not gotten used to it. So good luck.
Oh god. Why did they need to have the split the top of the screen in half
Some
for
dumbass
different
decided that that was a good idea.
just have it all in one? What was the freaking problem? It was
I have
perfect.
no idea.
Oh my god. That I'm normally like not
One swipe
resistant
down for.
to UI changes.
Hmm.
Normally I'm like I try to embrace them as much as possible because I want to believe there's a purpose to this, but this is fucking stupid.
It's like someone just got bored.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's like we used to say in retail. Someone's just trying to justify their job at head office. That's all it is.
Happens all the time.
Yeah. Oh,
All
speaking
right,
of
so we should probably actually. What the hell were we talking about before we started up the show?
Transformers,
Transformers.
but I want to bring up this
Yes.
figure. I was at GameStop the other day, and I've had my eyes on this for a while, and I figured I finally pulled the trigger. I got this Iron Man figure right here. It's one of my favorite
Nice.
armors from I want to say the late 2000s, mid 2000s to late 2000s. It's from Diamond Select, and it was at a really good price.
That
And
is a pretty good
yeah, I
figure, man.
love the design. It's not superposable, like the wrists are just turn, and even then it's
Mm.
kind of like iffy. So it's not like superposable, but it comes with this really cool stand,
Oh, nice.
like it's taken off in the sky. My only gripe for it is that whatever freaking panel they picked, because they had a picture of it on the back, I don't know who the artist is, but the helmet just looks like a monkey skull to me, and
Oh,
I
it kind of does.
don't like
Weird.
it. I really don't like it because it's the only time that this armor's been in existence that somebody drew it like that. And like of all the fucking panels to pick, they picked that one, and I hate it. Like it
Yeah,
should be more rounded. Why are the cheekbones so defined on this fucking helmet? It's ridiculous.
he's got a massive underbite.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's so apart from that, it's shiny, it's red and gold, and it's really cool. I just wish it was a little bit more posable, and less posable in other parts. Because like this leg joint is really like slippery.
Gaia.
Yeah.
Yeah. See,
But
that's what I'm
these
afraid
wrists are
of, and
really tight. That's
that's what I'm afraid of getting into new figures.
yeah. I mean that's why I don't go to like full lines. I just want to collect characters I like. Right? Green Lanterns, the occasional Transformer, maybe a Power Ranger or two, and some Iron Man suits.
Yeah,
That's
but I can't do that because then shit gets out of control.
tell me about
Yeah. See,
it.
there's no container, there's no box to keep myself in, which means I've given myself no guidelines. There is nothing that I have to stay within, which means that I can do whatever. And I can't do that to myself because then I will have a million different man,
Figures.
that shelf looks really crooked behind me. That's
This one?
insane.
This
No,
one?
this one
This one?
behind me.
Oh, behind you. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like
It does. That's kind of
it's
weird.
so nuts.
But it
It's not
isn't though,
crooked.
right? It's not crooked.
It's
That's
not
just
crooked.
that's wild.
Why does it look like that?
That's fucked.
That's crazy.
It's got to be like the perspective.
It's yeah, it's definitely got to be something. Perhaps the viewing angle mixing with the perspective from my camera, but
Yeah.
um, yeah, that's some. That's the reason why I'm not. I want to keep it within like a line or an appearance or a scale, a quality. Like
Right.
I would have no problem mixing together Mattel ones with this if the Mattel are the same size and look roughly the same.
Mm-hmm.
I'd have no problems doing that.
Right. So, for
But
example, if you ever bought a Transformer, this scale would drive you fucking nuts.
beyond a shadow of a fucking doubt.
Because Transformers are
Yes.
supposed to be goddamn massive, not shorter than a
Yes.
human.
So if I was going to get into collecting Transformers, they would have to only be they would have to be by themselves
Yeah.
in their own area, and it would be very
Which is what most
difficult.
people do anyway.
It would drive me fucking bonkers because there's no real solid line that you want to collect. There's a bunch of different fucking waves, and I feel like because I mean obviously I'm not a TF hound like you've been your whole life, but I've been looking for a while now. Ever since being introduced to all those different kinds of toy stores from you, Kirk, and Jeremy,
Right.
um, looking at this stuff, and it's just like I could get into Transformers because I do like Transformers,
Mhm.
but I would make it so fucking expensive.
Oh God, yeah.
Because like okay, so like that set that you showed up, you dig that, you like that. For me, that would drive me bonkers. I would be like the guy that was like, yeah, it was $250, but this really is the best looking Optimus.
Yeah,
You know, it's like
yeah.
no sense in having one that I'm not going to love on the shelf.
Which, if you are, I know you're just giving a broad, facetious example, but if you're looking for the best looking Optimus, $40. it's
Oh
it's
man,
really cheap.
that that one reminds me of the one that I had when I was a kid. It
Mm,
looks so much, it's smaller
yeah,
and a little bit darker red plastic,
right.
but it looks so much like the one that I had when I had a kid. Every time you show it,
Yeah,
I'm like,
but have I only shown you in truck mode, or have I shown you in robot mode?
I I don't think you've shown me it exploded.
Okay, give me a minute. Oh no, I broke the gun. Okay. Well, that's the thing. That's honestly what got me back into Transformers more recently. Is the engineering has been stellar. They've gotten so good with how they design these things. There's very little, and if pardon me if y'all don't know the Transformers lingo, there's very little in terms of backpacks these days, right? And if you don't know, the backpack is the term given for like the excess transformation that just gets shoved onto the back of the robot once it's
Hmm.
transformed, right? Very little in terms of backpack at all these days, unless it's an original design. The lines, like you were talking about, like lines of figures before, it's interesting how they're doing it. Kind of like how um, McFarlane has been doing their lines,
Hmm.
where they have, for example, like they had the line of Morrison's Justice League, but it was um, like all in like the four figures in one,
Yeah.
right? But then they have other lines, like they have the Death and Return of Superman line, which has been spread out across X amount of years, right? So they have like Transformers has that too, where they're doing they have the Studio Series line, but that has been split up over like 5-6 years now. The Studio Series 86 line, which is figures based off the movies. Like they got the Constructicons and Jazz I bought recently. They came
Hmm.
out this year, but the Studio Series 86 line, based off the 86 movies, started like 4 years ago with Bumblebee. Right, so it's if you're trying to collect a whole line, it's really fucking difficult. Speaking of difficult, I
That
don't I
that's
don't remember
that's
what the
what would
next
drive
step
me
is.
bonkers.
Shit,
Oh,
what am I? Oh, there we go. The fuck am I missing?
Holly never should have encouraged me to finish the death metal set. If Holly would have never if Holly would have never convinced me to continue the death metal set,
Right.
I wouldn't have 30 fucking figures sitting behind me right now.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be I
If
wouldn't be like sitting here hemming and hawing about over every single new figure that comes out going, God, do I want that? Do I even want to
right.
buy it?
I'm just happy you're not blaming me anymore.
Oh, you're the one that started it all.
And there we go. Fully transformed Optimus Prime.
Nice. That looks very, oh man,
It's
that looks
very
really
detailed.
good.
It's very detailed, and this is the best part. That took me a while to discover.
Ah,
Matrix of Leadership, buddy, and it comes out.
nice.
I don't take it out because it's very small and I'll lose it. My favorite part, he's got butt cheeks.
Jesus Christ. Of course, that's your favorite part.
And they spin.
Designed by John Cena.
So yeah, that's this is the Earthrise Optimus Prime.
Mm-hmm.
from War for Cybertron, the Netflix series.
Yep.
And this is just it's fucking dope.
It looks so close to classic 80s.
It does, yeah. In fact, they actually released a Studio Series Optimus last year that is basically the same model as this,
Mm-hmm.
but less detail on the plastic, so it looks more like the animated movie.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it comes with the actual truck bed as well,
Nice.
and it comes with the
The mobile
explosions
command
underneath the.
center.
Yeah, it comes with the explosions underneath the tires, like at the beginning of the movie when he's racing onto Autobot City to fight Megatron, and like
Uh,
the front tires explode and he flies up to the sky and transforms and. Uh, but that's
that's
like
dope.
$120 Canadian. I was like, I really want that, but I'm happy with this Optimus.
You'll have to send me a link for that, man. I'd love to
Yeah,
see what it looks like in person.
yeah. It's like I said, literally like exactly the same as what I showed you. They use the same model. They just changed up the actual look of the plastic, but it's hella dope.
Hello, dope
And
indeed.
Jazz, I love Jazz. Jazz, one of my favorites. So I figure if I get those two, maybe a Bumblebee, if I get Hot Rod and I get Devastator, I'll be happy.
You be happy?
Happy, happy, happy.
That's
Hot
all
Rod
it'll
is one of
take.
my
Huh?
all-time favorites.
Hot rod.
Hot Rod, yeah.
That's good stuff.
Rodimus Prime. The only other thing I want to do, and I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to get the opportunity, is with this Optimus, from the same line, I want to get Megatron, and I want to somehow, if possible, switch the right arm for Megatron's arm with the blaster cannon and
Hmm.
make my very own custom Skybound Optimus.
Oh, that would be sick.
Wait, have you been reading the Skybound Transformers?
No, but I've seen them.
Yeah. It's like early on, his arm got ripped off, and then he acquired Megatron's arm instead, and it just looks so fucking cool.
um, yeah, I think
Yeah.
if I would have to have Optimus Prime, Hot Rod, Gridlock, Sideswipe, and then I would
Mm.
want Megatron, Starscream,
Oh, I have a Starscream. I forgot about that.
and um, Soundwave, and
Oh, Soundwave is dope.
oh man,
Now the list is just getting bigger. Is that? Or are you trying to
oh,
remember a
and there's
name?
somebody in particular that I'm trying to
What's he look
think
like?
of, and I'm completely blanking on it. Who was Starscream's bootlicker in the '80s cartoon?
Oh, his bootlicker? I don't know. He had a. I don't remember. Are you talking about one of the Seekers? Like they're one of his quote
Yes,
unquote clones? Might have
yes,
been Thundercracker.
Thundercracker. Okay, it was one
Thundercracker was
of
black and
those.
purple, I think.
Yes, that's it. That's the
Yeah.
one. I would like one of those as well, and that would be my set. That would be the
Thundercracker was
first
cool.
lie that I told myself if
Yeah.
I was collecting those. Is like I'm just gonna get those
Yeah. Actually, hey,
ones.
give me one moment here. I'm gonna show you something cool.
Excuse me.
Okay, so Hasbro has also released these mini Transformers. They are
Oh wow, those are so small.
hella small, yeah. But the design on these is also really cool. I have Starscream, I have Nemesis Prime, because hell yeah.
Right.
I do have a sound wave, but I can't find it right now. But I also
Boo.
have, and I can't remember what their fucking names are. But I think blue one is Thundercracker, and the black and purple one, whose name escapes me. But I have two of the Seekers, so I've got three of the Seekers, and the transformations are actually fucking solid.
Nice.
Yeah, and they all come with different weapons. Like, so these are really affordable. They're probably like $5 to $10 at most, depending on what store you buy them from. So if you're looking for something simple to transform, go for that. I recommend it. Just want something to play with in your hands. Go for it. Yeah, so there's that. That's all I wanted to show you.
No, the blue one is Skywar,
Skywarp. Oh, okay. Thank you.
and then
So
the
the
purple
purple
one
and
is
black one is
Thundercracker.
Thundercracker. Okay.
Yes. And I was thinking of, hold on a second, damn it. um, I need to add Ramjet to that as well.
Oh, okay.
No, I
Ram.
had it backwards. God damn it! Skywarp is the purple one, and
Oh,
Thundercracker
okay.
is the blue one.
So that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. So Skywarp and Ramjet.
Right.
Those are the ones I would like to have.
Oh shit! I just
All right.
lost one of the blasters. So there's his
There
transformed.
it is. There it was. And here we are.
There it is transformed in jet mode. There's a bit of a belly where you can see some innards, but for the most part, it looks hella dope.
Hmm.
Um, yeah.
Nice.
So if you're a Transformers fanatic, I highly recommend these ones too because they're just simple little things. They're really cheap. They're really fun to just play with in your hands. And to be honest, that's half the fun is just transforming it. Like I showed my daughter one of the Constructicons last week. No, I showed her Jazz, and I showed her, look, it transforms into a robot. She's like, cool, change it back. So I changed it into a car. She's like, cool, change it back. She just wanted to watch
Yeah.
me transform it for 15 minutes. That's
Hmm.
that's all she wanted.
Ladies and gentlemen, Hasbro, the actual inventor of the world's very first fidget toy.
Yep, literally. So yeah, that's our Transformers talk for the show because we should talk about DC Comics. I haven't read anything else, so I have nothing else to talk about. I'm trying to catch up to Ultimate books right now.
Yeah.
I think I'm almost caught up. Ultimate X-Men is really fucking good. I know it's not your bag of tea, Josh, but if
I
you've ever got into like teen manga style stories, I highly recommend it.
no, never once.
That's fair.
I've read one manga. Two. I've read two mangas. No, I'm sorry. I've read one manga with any kind of degree of regularity, and that was just Kenshin. It was the only one that I've ever picked up that I was even that I could get remotely interested in.
All right.
And then Death Note, but then that was it.
All right. Fair enough.
Yeah, I wish there was more that I liked, but
I mean, it's like any story. It's some are for you, some are not.
yeah,
Right. Some
I
you'll
can't get
enjoy.
past the cheese. You know,
But is that what it is in Ultimate X-Men, or is it like?
I think that's just what it is in manga
Yeah.
and anime in general.
Okay. I was gonna say I don't personally I don't see a lot of cheese in Ultimate X-Men, but
No, I mean it's a fucking, isn't
it,
it basically a horror story?
to a certain degree. But there's a lot of like really crazy lore going on. just really crazy character work as well. Stuff that's got me like wondering what the
I don't
hell's
know.
gonna happen next.
When
Like,
when I picked it up, I was like, I don't recognize any of these characters. I can't tell what the fuck's going on.
that's
And
the thing about that is like
and the thing that
most people
throws me
couldn't.
off is when people make those anime expressive faces. It takes me right out of it and completely turns me
Pull me
off
out
from
of.
the art,
Oh shit.
like hard.
Well, shit.
If somebody's embarrassed and then the next thing they do is show me that person with a perfectly round face, red cheeks, and X's over their eyes, I'm like, I'm done. That was fucking lazy. But we're not here to talk about manga, at least not right now. We're here to talk about everything. I don't know who the fuck I'm kidding. But right now, I guess what I wanted to say was I should probably get this out of the way.
Uh-oh.
I have seen absolutely nothing but high praise for this issue on the internet across everything. And usually that's not the case. Usually you find lots of people bitching and less people raving. Nope. And I know Glenn is dying to hear what I've got to say about this as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and jump into it. Superman Unlimited number 1.
Color me excited. I've got thoughts.
Written by uh-oh, damn it, I just lost my spot.
Dan Slott.
Yes. Written by the Slot of Dan. Art
Spider-Man's
inside and out
second greatest
from
villain.
Raphael Albuquerque. Slot of Dan is the world's second greatest villain. Is that what you...
Spider-Man's second greatest villain.
Oh. Truth bomb. Raphael Albuquerque with colors from Marcelo Malo and lettering from Dave Sharp. So, the review. Excuse me, I have got some serious coughing going on. Give me just one moment.
No problem, good sir. If you want, I can start off your solicitation. You get 20 pages of Superman's backstory.
Yeah. It's... All right, so let's just go here. Superman is Supermaning until he gets a call about a giant meteor heading towards Earth from the Justice League Watchtower. Extinction level event. Clark shows up. It's a gigantic planet-sized meteor of inertron. But when Clark punches it, he finds out that it's a planet-sized solid chunk of kryptonite that was wrapped in just a tiny bit of inertron. So,
Editor's note, everything in the story so far was in the free comic book day special edition.
Editor's note. So that's no good, right? Then we're flashing through Clark's life, and it does a pretty good job of highlighting the big moments. He says his goodbyes in space to John so he can relay them to everyone. Then there's an explosion, then boom. As we watch Superman die, there's a literal explosion in the sky. But then we're on the Watchtower. Superman is healed. It's 3 months later. How did Superman survive being completely on his own, fending off a planet-sized chunk of Krypton and stopping it from hitting the Earth?
Well, dear reader,
We don't know. What we do know is that there's apparently the kryptonite chunk, the planet-sized chunk of kryptonite, made it to Earth somehow, because there's an island nation there that is mass producing, mass using kryptonite on a global scale to the point where the super people just aren't super anymore. Now, how does Superman survive getting pummeled by a planet sized chunk of kryptonite? Because in a certain light, he's gold. Now, the only thing that I can think of that could even potentially relate to this is Superman 1 million.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Now, I think that what this story is going to do is it is going to link what made Clark able to become Superman 1 million, and it's going to link that to what Dan Slott referred to as a quirk in his Kryptonian biology that allowed him to survive Doomsday. And I think Dan Slott is actually going to put those two together, and that'll basically be the purpose of this story. I could be wrong, but that's where I can see it going just off of this first issue. Um, if that's the case, I could handle that. That's cool. That's something new, something different. While making use of stuff that we've just had laying around, and I'm okay with that. As long as it's written okay, as long as it's written well. The art was great throughout the whole thing. Some exceptions here and there. The story's interesting. A huge radical change in Kryptonite with supers and what's going to happen with them. I'm really curious where it's going to go. Unfortunately, there's only one way to find out, so I'll be reading this next month. For a setup issue, this was good and went with some really good broad points covering the life flashing before his eyes stuff. I liked it. I thought it was done well. It both makes me excited for issue number 2 and nervous at the same time. But for this one, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. Oh, and look at me. Jiminy Christmas. That's the cover. Here, at the very end, I wanted to say something about the cover. That's when I realized that I had not changed it to the cover. This cover is so ugly. Why
They had us in the first half.
is the entire Kent family and friends, why are they all on meth? And why are they sealing a monkey with a pompadour?
Yeah, that monkey did not appear in this issue from what I can remember.
At all. No monkey in the issue. This wasn't Beppo. This wasn't Beppo. This wasn't Bobo. What is it with monkeys and bees? And this, oh, Coco. There's a monkey that doesn't start with a B in DC. But anyway, oh my God. Okay, that's all I want to say. I don't need to go on and on and on about it, but Jesus Christ, that cover was bad.
I'm not gonna say it's all bad, but the faces definitely are not great.
Yeah, no. The earth in the background looks good.
Yeah, like the background
Everything
stuff
else
is
looks like shit.
fantastic. The layout of the characters is quite good.
Okay, I'll give you that. Yeah.
But yeah, the faces are just not great. I don't mind Clark's. His eyes look a little dead inside, but his face isn't all bad. It's everybody else's face is kind of weird.
That looks like Clark was taken over and was like some kind of like fucking. That's the face of Red Sun. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I can see
That's
that.
the face of Red Sun. That's what I'm looking at right there. Yeah, but like I said, cover aside, it makes me excited and nervous. But 8 out of 10 so far, which is pretty high praise for a setup issue from me.
So there's a lot of questions left hanging in this issue.
Yeah.
Like, such as, for such a groundbreaking change in Superman lore And let's face it, DC lore in general, they're leaving it to a side book for Superman.
And I'm going to assume
It's
that this.
interesting.
See, this is where I'm getting fucked up at. Superman Unlimited. Superman went, got knocked out. He's been gone for 3 months, resting on the Watchtower, and now
Yeah,
there's
fucking
an
when.
entire island of kryptonite. Basically, let's just for shits for easy
Yeah,
sake, let's just call it that. Can't remember
Island
what the name
Nation.
of it is.
Yeah,
Island Nation of
yeah.
kryptonite, and
And that island looks like Krypton at this point
yeah,
because they're
and
so advanced in technology thanks to this fucking kryptonite.
where was everybody else?
Yeah, really.
I mean, that's the part. That's the big chunk out of this. That a lot of stuff that I could try and pick apart, but there's really no reason to. But that whole Superman was out for 3 months, wakes up, and now there's all of this going on. And I mean, where was anybody else doing anything to shut it down?
Yeah, right. It's kind of nuts. Um, I want to say the whole thing, the Superman Unlimited. At first, you're just like, it's a title is like nothing's uh like anything goes. I mean to say, nothing is off limits. This is Superman Unlimited, unlimited potential stories. But I'm thinking that's not what the title is getting at. Superman Unlimited is now he's highly invulnerable. Not even kryptonite is poisonous to him now, is what they're hinting at the end of the issue. That whatever this gold coating that you can only see in certain light protects him from kryptonite now. Um, it's he really only his only weakness is magic as far as we know. Um, and that would be what the unlimited part is. I think that might be what Dan Slott is getting at. Uh,
If you take kryptonite away from Clark
yeah,
as a weakness, there's only one other weakness that he has, and it's not magic. Everybody has a weakness to magic. That's not calling it a weakness.
no, but he's like more prone to
No, he
like
just doesn't have
damage
a
from
natural
magic.
defense to it. That's his weakness for magic. It's not that he's more prone, but not by any stretch. It's
I
just he doesn't
swear
have a
that's
way to
what they've
fight it.
always said. Is
You're
that
not, to my knowledge.
magic is
But
always like more damaging to him than the normal
oh,
person.
damn it, I forgot what I started out saying.
Sorry,
Oh, his it's not your fault, dude.
I kept
uh
talking.
it says oh yeah. His other natural weakness, a deadline.
Ooh. Which, thanks to John Jones, he will never miss.
Good looking
um,
out, John. Good looking out.
yep. I, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know how I feel about this new status quo yet, because there's not enough to go on. I
Mm.
know I'm not a fan of it right now, because I feel like it's really fucking big, and it's such a huge thing to put into what is essentially a side book and not even the main title. I feel like a story of this caliber would have done really well in the main book, but this is essentially a book designed for Summer of Superman, and it's coming out swinging, and it's fucking wild.
And is
Um,
it in continuity?
that's the thing. Well, that's also the thing. It definitely feels like it's in continuity because everything that's being written around it, like the Daily Planets, like the Watchtower, um, it all feels like it's in continuity. All the characters, supporting characters that are there, they all feel like the same in continuity characters. So I definitely feel like it is in continuity. I would think it'd be very weird for them to write it like this and then 5 issues down the line say, by the way, this is an alternate universe. Like that would just be weird. Um,
That's very fair.
yeah, I
Well,
don't
then
know.
this island nation of Kryptonia, I don't know what the damn name is. It better
Somewhere
be
near
making
Coastal
some.
Maltese,
It better be making some appearances
elsewhere.
elsewhere. Thank you.
Yeah, I hope so. The only other thing that rubbed me the wrong way was that I get they were doing the whole, oh, it's my life flashing before my eyes. And they're like really hammering home that this might be the point that Superman dies, but then you're at the same time you're like, this is the first issue. It's no way Superman's dying.
Yeah.
Don't insult me like this. Okay. He ain't dying. And they really, really hammer that point home by spending half the book going through his life of stuff we already know. And sure, for a new reader, it's a quick run through of all the biggest points of Superman's history. I get that. But for long term readers, that's a lot of time spent on stuff we already know.
Yeah, it was like going back and tapping every big nail on the
Yeah.
head one time,
Yeah.
of all the punctuation of Superman's history.
Yeah. That kind of rubbed me the wrong way a bit. I wasn't a big fan of that. Um, I don't mind going through a brief rundown of characters' history because, like I said, for new readers, it's a great resource, and for old readers, it can be fun to stroll down memory lane. I just think it was a lot of pages spent on that.
20
Definitely,
is a
definitely
lot.
felt like half the book. Um, and yeah, that's basically what I got. It's like the art was interesting. I think it's an interesting premise. I just don't know how I feel about it yet. I am really hoping this is a story where by the end of the arc, status quo goes back to normal. That's what I feel like right now, because I don't really like this new status quo as it is laid out in front of me at this moment. It doesn't feel good.
Not unless it not unless it goes other places. I'm all open to new things for our characters to go through and live through and have to adapt to.
Yes, me too.
But if this excess of kryptonite is only in this book, then I'm gonna be aggravated like crazy by it.
And for me, on the flip side, like I also am not against new status quos for characters and evolving those characters and bringing new pages to their lore books and like adding to their history, but not at the cost of other characters. Because as it stands with this book right now, any Kryptonian living on Earth is at risk of being a hero. As you saw Connor Kent and Kara at the end, they were bruised and
Oh,
battered. Connor was in a cast. Like they can't be proper heroes anymore because kryptonite is in such an abundance on Earth right now.
you
That
called her
that
Kara and not Kara. Thank you. You always call her Kara.
do I always call her Kara? It's because
All everybody calls her Kara.
I used to work with a Kara.
Ah,
That's why I used to work with somebody named Kara, and that got stuck in my head. But it is Kara, Kara Zor-El.
yes,
Um,
just Kara Zor-El. I had an aunt Kara.
yeah.
She died.
Oh,
And I have a niece Kara,
oh yeah.
but this is Kara.
This is Kara. Exactly.
This is Kara. Thank you.
Uh, or yeah. So like they are having such a hard time being heroes. Connor's even in a fucking. He's got an arm cast. Like how can they be effective heroes to the world? Kryptonite is in such an abundance. They got this island nation. It's their main resource right now, and they are making millions upon millions of monies by exporting it to other nations. I'm assuming that's why it's so fucking rich. Um, so that kryptonite's going to explode into the world elsewhere. They're hoarding it and they're using it for wealth. That's how global economies work. Right? So
Yeah, man.
I can't imagine this little island nation is not doing just that. We got a glimpse of how it looks right now. It looks like fucking Krypton. There's no way that they're not sending it out into the world for money.
Is
So
that right? Hey, what you
it's
doing, Island Nation?
exactly.
Just working on my credit score.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So there's no way that this kryptonite is not in abundance all over the world. Um, we just got a new Supergirl book, and it's actually quite interesting. We have Superman John Kent in Secret Six. We have Action Comics. We have Superman. We have Superman Unlimited, all of which feature other cast members of the extended Superman family. how can they be effective characters now if that weakness is fucking everywhere, right? To the point that they have to go to the satellite away from Earth with bruised eyes, bloody lips, and casts on their bones because they're fucking broken. That I don't like
Makes them
that.
real heroes.
I don't like that in the slightest.
They're
But
still out there fighting the good fight, even though they're not invulnerable anymore.
yeah, it just feels like now it's
Putting them
they
on
didn't
par
have
with
to
everybody else.
push that envelope because you don't see Batman and Robin showing up on the satellite with an arm cast, right? Sure, they get black eyes and bloody lips occasionally, but they're used to that, right?
You
You
don't
don't
see
see them
Batman and you know, you don't see the Bat family showing up with broken arms because they know how to fight.
exactly.
Think Connor and Kara need to be spending a little time with some Jason and Dick, some Tim and Dick.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
Jace. Okay,
not
let's rephrase this.
yeah. We don't want Jason rubbing off on Connor.
Or,
That's
no, we need Tim roaming off on Connor.
that's for you.
I still need Tim roaming off on Bernard. That's all I need. For those that are listening, Josh muted himself because he's laughing so fucking hard. And he's coughing. Oh, yeah. uh,
I laughed so hard it made me cough. Damn it!
sorry, I caught you off guard there, didn't I?
Got me off guard a little bit there. Ah.
Yeah, so. Yeah, I just. This kind of rubbed me the wrong way a little bit. But first issue, I'll give it the benefit of the doubt for now. I am curious to see what's going to come of this because that last page did pique my curiosity quite a number. Um, so for now, 7.75.
Wait a minute.
Let me just rate that down. And then we'll get into our next book.
With an equally horrifyingly bad cover.
I don't think it's that bad.
Find all the people on the cover that are in the book.
Yeah, that
Count
part
them.
is dumb. That part is dumb. But it's Dan Mora. How could you hate a Dan Mora cover? That's the thing.
It looks good.
Yeah.
The quality is good, but what
Yeah.
he drew is not. And on top of that, like the third biggest person he put on there was Ultraman. Is he trying to piss me off?
Just don't look underneath Ultraman, and you won't see Owlman. Okay, just ignore that part.
He's not as big as Ultraman.
Yeah, he's hiding because he's an owl.
I thought seeing this that I was gonna see Perpetua again, and definitely did not. Not at all. No Pariah. No Perpetua.
Yeah, no Amazo robots, no Batman Who Laughs, no Crime Syndicate.
Well, I wasn't really looking for Who Laughs.
Yeah,
I'm done with that.
yeah. I think everybody is. All right, let me just move on over to the credits page. Here we are. This is World's Finest, Batman Superman World's Finest, number 39. This is written by Mark Waid with art from Clayton Henry, colors from Tamara Bonvillain, and letters from Steve Wands, and the cover that we've already talked about from Dan Mora. We open up where we left off last issue on the Justice League Watchtower. Sorry, the JLU Watchtower. In the present day, past teenage Robin has shown up in front of Batman, who is hella happy to have him back because he responds with, "Dick, you've been missing for years." Then Nightwing walks up and says, "No, I haven't. Something's wrong." And that's when Batman comes to his senses and realizes, "Wait, no, you did vanish for years and never returned. But at the same time, I know you didn't do that. What the fuck is going on?" Superman shows up, says, "Which Robin are you?" And Robin goes, "What? How many have there been?" Good question, Dick. Very good question. they catch each other up to speed for the most part, because as you know, past versions of yourself should not know too much about the future. However, now Robin knows that he does get older, has a sick ass haircut, even though he says he should get one, and he goes by a different name of Nightwing. Um, but they understand now the
It's
time may be a
byproduct.
little broken. Batman and Superman say, okay, until we figure this out, stay far away from each other and avoid any physical contact. Just as they shake hands, and then time shifts again. Robin disappears. Batman, Superman, and Nightwing end up into the past in the Justice League satellite, specifically the past that Robin is from. And Superman and
Yeah.
Batman from the past end up in Metropolis in the future, and they also meet up with Robin. They're in the present day, our present, and conveniently right in front of Lois Lane as Superwoman, who's telling Clark we need to get a move on. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on, and she just says a whole bunch of things that the trio are really confused by. Clark is like, She knows I'm Clark. We have a son. What the fuck is going on? It's a little bit of fun here and there. Robin gets them back into like the page of what's going on because he's been through this once already. They get into it, looking around, and Superman does see Sinestro and Scarecrow not far from where they are at the Superman Museum, um, doing something. It's kind of vague as to what it is they're doing, but they're doing something. But what they are doing is spreading fear because, hey, they're two fear based villains. Why not pair them together?
Right?
Superman and Batman run in, and instead of Batman and Robin taking on Scarecrow and Superman the alien taking on the alien, they swap that. Because why the fuck not? Superman takes on Scarecrow, is mostly immune to the fear gas, but oh, surprise, surprise, this one's laced with kryptonite, so he is not immune to the fear gas, and then gets a vision of Jimmy Olsen's neck being snapped. Batman and Robin go after Sinestro. Not gonna go well. They do have a heck of a time fighting him. Um, at some point, Sinestro's not Sinestro, Scarecrow's fear gas makes Superman see an image of himself dead, and that is just a little bit too far for old Clarky Poo, because that's when he realizes things are a little too nuts. This just doesn't make sense. A little too far, and that snaps him out of the fear gas. He takes down Scarecrow, Toot Sweet, and then heads over to help the dynamic duo with Sinestro. Um, and that is when Sinestro then grabs his time gun that he dropped earlier and blasts the Intrepid Trio with a time ray. I don't know, whatever the fuck it is. They land in
Time gun.
some weird desert. Yeah, but what is the thing that comes out of the time gun?
Time goo.
See, that's exactly what I was trying to figure out.
It's time splooge.
It's oh god.
oh.
Are we still doing phrasing? Was that a Ray impression?
Yeah.
So they end up in some weird desert
Feel my
somewhere.
legs.
The three of them, some weird desert with a green sky. None of them know exactly where they are. They just know it's not good. Meanwhile, our present day trio in the past are trying to figure out how to get back to the present day. They head to the Batcave because that's the only place they know they can be safe away from other heroes. So they don't accidentally reveal anything of the future. They can't find much in there because the Legion of Doom have already scrubbed the Bat computer and the Batcave of any time traveling equipment or devices available. However, Alfred shows up, and this takes all three of them aback. Dick and Bruce just don't know how to react, and they're just like ready to go in, give him a hug, and tell him how good it is to see him. Clark realizes what's going on, and he realizes the emotions that the two are feeling, but he also knows at the time that they gotta dial it back a bit. Gives him a quick "I'm sorry," but Bruce then doubles his resolve and says, "We need to make them pay for this." They head to the Fortress of Solitude, where Clark realized it's in the name Legion, as in the Legion of Doom, but also the Legion of Superheroes from the 31st century. I have a time bubble at the fortress, so let's go take that. They head into the time stream, but then they find that the Legion of Doom had put up a chronal safeguard, aka a firewall in time. They have to escape it before they run into it, but they do run right into it conveniently at the same quote unquote time that the past trio got blasted by Sinestro's time ray. We do not see where they went, and that's where our issue ends. This is part 4 of 6, so we got 2 more parts. Next part is Justice League Unlimited number 7. All right, so I like this issue. I like this issue for the most part. It was a lot of fun seeing the two trios doing their thing in different time periods and fighting different villains, and like it was interesting stuff. Seeing the past trio dealing with the future, and the future trio dealing with the past. It was nice. Especially the part with Alfred. I'm a sucker for moments where Bruce gets to interact with a past version of Alfred. It's always touching, it's always nice, but it's also happened enough times that I feel like Bruce at this point should understand that he needs to dial it back. Right? That part felt a little off to me. The only gripe I have is with the overall crossover, is that we're on part 4, and there hasn't really been what I feel is a cohesive story. Like most crossovers you have focal point characters that basically tell the story for you, or you have a character with an inner dialogue that you can follow along every single part through each issue. Right? This does not have that. We started it with the Justice League doing things and fighting the Legion of Doom, and then we had 2 parts of Gorilla Grodd as the focal point, and now we have this part is so focusing solely on Superman, Batman, and Dick Grayson. And who knows what part 5 is going to be. Like it feels like it's jumping around in terms of focal point to the point that I don't even know what the fucking story is anymore. Right? Like who are we supposed to be paying attention to? What's the overall goal here? What exactly is going on? You can tell me all these different things that are going on, but it's really hard to tell unless you're looking at a bigger picture. Right? Like I could read this issue and I actually completely forgot what part 1 was. I had to like really think about it, right? Because that felt like so fucking long ago, even though it was 4 weeks ago. It's weird how this has all been laid out, and I just hope it gets better. I really do. I hope the story ends with some meaning and purpose, because a crossover like this feels like it should have a bigger resolve. But I fear it won't.
I have an idea. If it doesn't,
Yeah.
leave the world's finest alone and separated forever.
What, Superman and
I don't
Batman?
care. Yeah, the title itself. Put them back in whatever fucking timeline that they're supposed to be in,
Oh yeah.
and never, ever, 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 ever have them interact with the future ever again.
Yeah, they really shouldn't, especially since this whole thing of Dick ending up in the future. Be like, what? This never happened.
Right.
So like they really went with the story of Dick never came back. Like okay, what?
Yeah.
That's kind of dumb. Like there was an episode of Justice League Unlimited with Kronos where they had that same thing. Time was being disrupted, and Batman, Green Lantern, and I want to say Wonder Woman ended up in the future with Batman Beyond. And old Bruce showed up, and he said, "No, this isn't right because I have no recollection of this." And like that blew my mind as a kid. Like that was just like, "Oh shit, time really is fucked up," right?
Right.
And that was cool at the time, because 3 seconds later, Terry McGinnis got a mouthful from both Bruces, saying "not now," and it's like, "Is that what you call it? Stereo?" And it's like that's funny. Yeah, that's a great moment. This does not have that. this
No.
this doesn't
No.
have that same feel to it. Um, It's just like you're
Watered
really
down.
gonna push this idea that Dick Grayson got blasted by a time ray, and I don't even remember whose it was at this point. It doesn't fucking matter. Got blasted by a time ray, ended up in a different time period, and was never seen again.
Yeah, dude, I'm
That's a
talking.
little much.
This shit is more timey-wimey than the Flash book.
This is more timey-wimey than Doctor Who on a mushroom trip.
Woo! I mean, I even kind of found it hard to keep track of who it was that I was looking at. I had to like constantly rem- tell myself, okay, this is modern day. This is not. Every time that I was flipping a page, I had to figure it out and tell
Yeah.
myself that. I think it's nuts, and maybe it's just because of my brain today, but it was a bit hard to keep track of.
I mean, with
And
that,
that's
I
not
didn't
good
mind so
because
much
I'm
because you
usually
could
the
tell
one
by
that
which Dick Grayson they
explains
had.
the timey-wimey shit.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if I'm not getting it,
I love a good time travel story because it fucks with my brain.
yeah,
This is too much.
it's too much.
Yeah.
It's too much. No idea.
Yeah. So I the art is really good. I really did enjoy this issue, but this has the same vibe as the War for Earth 3 crossover, where each issue was its own story, and the one in the
Yep.
middle was the best one. And I'm talking the Jeremy Adams Flash, part 3 of 5 in War
Mm.
for Earth 3. Still the only good issue in that entire fucking arc, and it had nothing to do with the story.
Yeah.
This might be the best issue so far of this entire arc, but we have to fucking see because it still has its problems, right? It was definitely the one that
Mhm.
was the most fun and the most touching because I had a lot of fun moments, but I don't think that's enough to really hammer home this whole crossover event yet. So for now, it's also getting a 7.75.
All right. Well, that's where you're at with it. Not being able to keep track of timey-wimey bullshit is not okay with me. Uh, it's just not. If it makes me have to go back and like try and figure it out, then it's too much. And I mean, basically everything Rob said. The art looks great. It always fucking does. It's always going to look great. However, the story is just loose, and it's like I don't have a problem with the whole arc overall. What I have a problem with is that it feels like bare minimum every issue is 25% filler issue. That's like the feeling that I get while I'm reading this. Like every issue could be three quarters the size of what it is.
Yeah.
Um, I'm really hoping that this leads somewhere big. I thought from this cover that it was going to lead somewhere big. This did not. This just led into some what moments from time traveling, and that's disappointing. Art was good, and I'm not trying to shit on it too much. I'll give it a 7 out of 10.
Fair enough. I get that, not wanting to shit on it too much, because, like, there's a lot of potential here. A lot of good
Could
potential.
be.
Could be, but, like, it's not looking great right now.
I want to be a Mark Waid fan again.
I hear you.
You know who I
I
am a fan of,
don't
though?
want to dislike Mark Wade.
Right.
You're a fan of Rom V?
I am a fan of Rom V.
Who
How did you
isn't?
know?
I'm smart,
Ah,
like a god. I'm like a new god.
or a new god. Number 6, written by Ron V. Art and color in The Race by Felipe Andrade. And in The Arrival, art and colors came from Evan Cagle with Francesco Segala. Colors with lettering from Tom Napolitano and the Nimit Malavia cover.
Pretty crazy cover.
That's actually probably Malavia. But this book was super quick to get through.
Yeah,
So it probably won't take me too long to wrap everything up for you. Um, Light Ray dies. Saw that in the last issue, but I don't think he was supposed to. There's much more to come with Light Ray, I believe, ultimately leading to him being a huge major god, so that Light Ray is. I have a strong feeling that's where this is headed. But anyway, so majority of the book, Light Ray dies. Highfather seems to allude to him having greater power. The Black Racer doesn't even want him dead yet. So the Black Racer goes to the source and basically says, either you send him back or I will. And it seems threatening, which it makes me wonder where in the grand scheme of things does the Black Racer fall? He was created by the source. But who is the Black Racer to tell the Source what to do? That's crazy. So I'm really interested in seeing if we get anything more out of that. I'd like to. The other part of this book was Highfather and company fleeing New Genesis for Earth after the death of Light Ray, and then later it's them arriving via crashing space shuttle directly over top of where Superman had just stopped Orion from punching a baby. That was not the wrong words. Uh, this was good, man. It was. It doesn't sound like there was a lot that happened. I am summarizing it quite succinctly. It's the feeling and the exposition, and a lot of it, the beautiful art that makes this a bit of a bigger book. And I strongly suggest you read it. I'm telling you everything that happens, but you're not getting anywhere near as much out of it as you would if you put it in your hands. Um, it was good. The colored pencils used for Andrade's parts of the art were just fucking spectacular. I haven't seen colored pencils look that good in a comic book, and I don't even know how long. It's been a long ass time. Um, I'm really enjoying this, and I'm looking forward to next month. Kegel's art is always good. Sorry for leaving that out. Uh, you never have to worry about it. 6 issues in, and I'm still excited about the possibilities of this book. I'm still excited about I'm still excited about the pace of this book because I don't see an of 12 up in that corner. So we could have 2 years of new God stories, just like we got with Detective, and that just warms my heart so much. This move of having Orion with compassion, this move of Light Ray dying, of the Black Racer being so fond of Light Ray that he'll go up against the Source. Highfather evacuating New Genesis for Earth of all places. There's so much shit that's going on in this book, and all of it is delicious.
Yeah.
I need 2 spoons to gobble it all up.
Yep.
I love it. 8 out of 10.
100% I agree. It's one of the best books on the stands right now,
For
especially
sure.
if you like stories that are a little trippy, which if you're reading Rom V, you're probably going to get something a little trippy.
Yep.
But this is it's New Gods. It's got to be at least a little trippy. Um, the relationship with Black Racer and Light Ray is really fucking cool. That they expanded
Yes.
on it a little bit more in this issue is really fucking cool. Um, I don't have much more to say about it apart from this is such a cool issue. That's the art alone, the colored pencils, like it takes you a bit aback at first because you're so used to the art in every other issue, and it's like this
Mhm.
is so wildly different, but like it's got a charm to it. I really like.
Yeah, it
Um,
fits that aspect of the story, the
yeah,
ethereal part of Light Ray, what's happening on the other side with him.
exactly. I did see a couple of panels in this issue before I actually read the issue, um, of Highfather evacuating New Genesis, but I just saw the panel of Highfather with whatever it was he said, and then a ship appearing in what appeared to be a wormhole, and the first thought in my mind was, "Oh my God, this is it. That's the bleed." And finally, that the Vigil are going to show up. I'm just like, oh no, it's not the Vigil. Okay. So that disappointed me a little bit, but like I can't even be disappointed because the story was so fucking good. I'm just
It really is.
really hoping the Vigil shows up at some point here because, like, they were both Rom V. Rom V did say the Vigil will return, and they're in the bleed. It just makes sense to me that they'll show up in New Gods at some point. I really hope so.
They could.
Yeah, maybe they could be some of the new gods because there was a lot to do with those characters that felt a little bit
Ooh.
more than metahuman, right?
Well, yeah, but none of them felt exactly
But they were not happy about it, that's for
well
sure.
balanced or stable.
Yeah, but really, how many of the new gods are?
I think
Right?
that's why we're getting a new god, which is what I think that baby is.
Yeah, it's the coming of the fifth world,
Yep.
realistically, and that just it stands to tell, like, okay, how many of the fourth world new gods are going to survive? And judging by the previous worlds, none. Realistically,
Realistically
yeah.
speaking, yeah.
I would at least hope for Mr. Miracle and Big Barda to survive, maybe Orion, but yeah, for the most part, maybe that's what'll happen to Light Ray. Like the fourth world will die, and Light Ray will be reborn by the Source in the fifth world and still be around.
Very possible.
Very possible.
Very possible that he becomes like a dark side, light side.
Ooh, 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 ooh! That he is powered by the life equation. Interesting.
Well, dark side isn't powered by the anti-life equation. He just
No, but
wants it for domination. But
yeah,
yeah, I get what you're saying, and I think that could be pretty cool.
well, that would be pretty cool. I think you're onto something there, Joshy Washy.
It would be nice. Quit calling me Joshua.
That's
All
that's not your
right.
name. That's Isaiah's name.
That's
Uh,
Isaiah's.
I'm gonna give this an
HP long.
8.75.
8.75.
8.75.
Very nice.
I thought so. It's a
All right.
Titanic
Well,
story indeed.
Titanic story indeed. And that takes us over to yours.
Hell yeah! It's
It
Titans
don't
number
care.
23. This is written by John Layman with art and cover from Pete Woods. Letters from Wes Abbott's. That's it. Okay, I was expecting a fourth name, but there's only three. All right, so uh, we open up in Washington Heights in New York City, where Starfire, Cyborg, and Vanadia,
I'm going with vanadium.
Vanadia,
Yeah,
are
the metal is vanadium,
oh,
right?
okay. So Vanadia, yeah,
So
Vanadia. That
vanadia,
makes sense. Yeah,
that's
Vanadia. Excuse me. Are saving some people from a burning building. Vanadia thought there would be a lot more to heroics than that, but this is her training sessions. Starfire does say it's not all punching bad guys and like stopping evil. Sometimes it's just saving people and helping, and it's all fulfilling. Um, William Talkman, aka the Clock King, and Slade Wilson are watching afar from a nearby rooftop. Clock King does say that with this new information we have that Benadia has joined the Titans, I surmise that we will be found out in 3 hours, 47 and a half minutes. Um, Slade says, well, let's get back to base then, because now I have a surprise to show you all. Um, so
dum dum
then we jump
dum.
over to the Justice League Watchtower, where Roy, Donna, and Dick have joined Bruce and Diana around a round table to talk about what's going on with the Titans. Wally is also present, but he and Roy are just sitting back watching the two dynamic duos, if you will, um, hash it out, and they're just being bros in the background, talking it over. Like, yeah, that's really cool to see. The topic du jour is Vanadia and what the fuck is going on there, because she was an Amazo level being who was designed to kill the Titans, and all of a sudden she's joined them, just feels a little off to the big name heroes, especially with the Titans not wanting to be on the watchtowers, and with Donna reiterating again that, we need to be on the ground and not lording over the earth, high above in space where we can't see what the fuck is happening on the ground. She's got a bit of a point. But then the meeting is adjourned, with Donna just like, yeah, know what, fuck it, we're leaving. She just, right, we're leaving. And it just didn't sound like it ended well. Um, However, they touch base with Cyborg, to find out that there's some stuff going on. He says, just give me a minute. We've got it all under control. Turns out they're fighting Orca now, who is attacking
Apparently a bad person again.
Apparently, wait, when was she a good person?
She had a redemption arc during the storyline of Harley Quinn that turned into Punchline and Bluebird in jail. Sweeney Boo drew it.
Yeah, I remember that story. I know she did some good stuff there, but I still took it as she was in jail. Was she like reforming herself during that? I don't remember. Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. Yeah, so she's gone back to the bad side again. But it's for a purpose. They're stealing
But she went bad. But she had a good reason.
She knows. I didn't say it was a good reason. She had a purpose. She had a purpose.
Yeah,
right?
Excuse.
Stealing Atlantean technology from marine military use. It was a little bit of a confusing purpose, but it was a purpose nonetheless. Cyborg and Starfire figured this is a good time to test what Vanadia can do, so she goes in, attacks Orca head on, makes quick work of her, and then Orca reveals, no, we didn't steal any guns. We stole this power armor, which is a whole bunch of crab-shaped armor, or lobster-shaped armor, or octopus shaped. It's really weird what the fuck the armor shaped like, but it's a sea creature nonetheless. The lasers do nothing, and then Vanadia shows off one of her abilities where she just has to stretch her mind, and all your machinery is mine. All your base are belong to her. She shorts out the technology in all of the power armors and basically takes them over. However, her ability is a little too powerful because she also begins to take over Cyborg. That's not great. Starfire
it's not
tells
good,
her to stop.
man.
Cyborg kind of brushes it off, says, "We'll just chalk this up to a bit of a glitch. It's a training moment." And now we know more than we did before. However, this is when Roy, Donna, and Dick arrive, and they need to try and hide this information because Cyborg doesn't want Starfire to tell anybody. So that's a little much. Beast Boy, however, then gets on comms with Donna to reveal that they have found Slade Wilson's base, and it was all Vanadia, who was standing right in front of him. However, Vanadia is also standing right in front of the others in Washington Heights. Apparently, she can be in more than one place. So then across town, Slade turns to Clocking and says, it's been 3 hours and 47 minutes. They haven't found us. And Clocking says, I said 47 and a half. And yes, they are on their way. Right? So in 30 seconds, realistically, the Titans will arrive. However, this is when we see Slade's mystery surprise. And his mystery surprise is none other than Tara Markov, who I think we saw not last issue but a couple of issues ago, kind of helping bring Slade back to life. So yeah, Tara is now officially back with Slade in the quote-unquote crime syndicate. I will say quote-unquote because I don't like that name for this team.
Whatever. Whatever. It is better than any team that has ever called themselves crime syndicate ever.
I just don't think it's a good name, period. That's just gonna be honest here. I don't mind the original Crime Syndicate from Earth 3. I just always thought that was a dumb name. But yeah, that's where
See, I never minded the name. I always thought it was a dumb team. Like, how the hell are you going to take Wonder Woman and make her Superwoman?
That name was dumb, but
That's so dumb.
like the idea of the character is interesting.
It's like, you know what? We should make a Batman. We should make a clone of Batman who is inferior in every way, and then name him something that eats bats.
How is he inferior in every way?
He's completely stupid.
Because he
Owlman
has
is more
nothing but
luck
evil on his
than
mind.
anything. He's a lucky stupid drunk.
He can turn his head 360 degrees. Okay, I'm getting stupid now. The point is, that's where issue ends. Tara has shown up in full costume, and she's going to fight the Titans next issue, complete with a pun for the tease of the next issue.
Can you see that?
No.
You deliberately voting against me in Music League did nothing to save you
I had no
from
clue
losing to
that
me,
song was
sir.
yours. But I will say, I listened to that song, I looked through the lyrics, and I did not see a single mention of a job. So that's why I did not vote for it.
You're like, I'm
that's
going to autism this.
that's how I vote. The theme of this week was songs about jobs, and there was no mention of a job in that fucking song.
No, but that is the song from Office Space where they went out to the field and beat the shit out of the printer.
Oh, that was that song.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, all of you guys fucked it up.
That's not good.
But that's all right. That's all right. I'll let Jeremy take first place.
I see what you're getting at. Hey, you got second. That's better than third, which is what I got.
First time I've placed, though.
Yeah, it's good.
I think
so too.
it's first time I've
I
placed.
don't want to chalk it up to the fact that Kirk missed half of the voting rounds, but he ended up with 32 or something points. So who knows what would have happened if he showed up for every round.
Yeah.
Because him and Jess are killing it every time we play this game.
Yeah, and they've got weird music tastes. All of you guys have weird music tastes.
Did you like my choice? I thought it was a well thought choice.
Actually, these ones weren't bad, but
Yeah.
just like there's been some where it's like I've got 20 votes to give out, and I'm pretty sure all I want to do is give out 6
Yeah.
because all of these suck butt.
You suck. But I always try to pick a song that fits the theme perfectly.
That's what I do. I try to do that as well. I want it to fit the theme somehow.
Yeah. Even if I don't
Whether,
like the song,
like,
if it
about
fits the
work.
theme, I'm gonna give it a vote. Yeah.
Oh, see, I like depending on how annoying the song is.
Yeah. Like I'll
I
give it one.
won't give it that one vote
Yeah.
if it's just horrible.
Like
There was some. Oh God,
I'd
have to look back through the playlist.
don't give votes is when I don't think it fits the theme at all, and I just think this is a weird choice because it's not he is supposed to be here. But I'll think it's like the dumbest song alive. It'll get one vote because it fits the theme. Everything else will get like 5, 6 votes. That song, one vote. You did the bare minimum.
Yeah, you
Congratulations.
qualify. This is your
Here's your
participation
trophy.
Pat, have a great day.
Yeah.
Next. Here is your 1 point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but mine, Weird Al, Like a Surgeon. I thought that was an inspired choice.
Actually, I knew that was you.
You did?
Because, yeah, nobody else was going to choose Weird Al.
Oh, I figured Jeremy might have.
Nah.
Yeah.
Jeremy, I cannot peg down his.
He's got a very broad taste, broader than me.
Yeah, it's like it's like mine, and it's weird because like it is all over the place.
Yeah.
You should listen to that playlist that was put together for me. The soundtrack of
You gotta
Josh.
send it to me.
I posted it in Discord.
Did you? Oh,
Yeah.
I must have missed it. I guess in the music chat?
I think so.
Yeah.
Did I give my? No, I did
yeah,
not.
you did.
For Titans?
Oh, no, I was saying, you did post the playlist. I must have missed that. No, I don't think you even talked about
Yeah,
Titans yet.
no. So as far as for me for Titans, um, first off, the art it's good, but there's some places where it just wasn't. Like for the most part, throughout this whole thing, it was really good art, but when it wasn't really good art, it was bad. And included in that, and excuse me if this sounds ridiculous, but included in that were parts that I thought looked too happy. There
Yeah.
seemed to be some unusual shininess to Deadpool discussing things, wearing a big, broad smile, or things looking a little too sparkly. Not that it was drawn poorly, but that it was put in poorly and it didn't match what was going on in the book. Past that, I have been enjoying this run for quite some time. I warmed up to it nearly immediately, and so far I am a fan. But here's the thing, okay?
Right.
Titans fans, Teen Titans fans, eat a dick if you think this is an insult, because it's not. Everyone should respect the previous big time Titans stories, but how exactly is Terra supposed to be a secret weapon against the Titans?
Because
This
I
has
think
me
I think everybody
so
thinks she's dead. I think is the
utterly
idea here.
confused. Right, but I mean,
But that's the secret. Hey,
everybody
surprise!
on the
She's
Titans has
alive.
died at least once.
Yeah, but nobody
Twice.
knows she's back.
Everybody
That's
on the
thing.
Titans has died. Wait, how many times has Starfire's only died once, right?
I didn't know she died at all. When the hell did she die?
Hold on. Is Starfire the only Titans member that never died?
Did Cyborg die?
Yeah, Cyborg's died a couple of times.
Damn. I know Dick has technically died twice. I don't know if he's like, quote unquote, officially died.
Nope.
She hasn't.
Nope. She has not.
Yeah,
The
so I didn't think
closest
so.
that she has come to death is in a couple fanfics and what we assume would have been season 5 of the Titans show.
If it happened.
If it had happened, yes.
But that wouldn't count anyway. That would have been really fucking dumb. Yeah. Well, I didn't give my score. I'm gonna give it an 8.
Very well then.
Did I even talk about the issue?
Yeah.
Did I?
You're the one that reviewed it.
Yeah, I like did the synopsis, but I don't remember if I like said my notes.
Oh, I don't know. I don't remember now.
I don't remember. Because then we just started talking about Music League out of the blue, and then everything just leapt from my
Josh, you
mind.
ruined it again.
Yeah. Okay, Napoleon.
What'd you say?
Fucking. I'm trying to think of a pun for Napoleon Dynamite, but I can't. I don't know if that's what you're going for, but the way you did that whole. I was like, that was Napoleon Dynamite. For sure.
It was 100%
Yeah.
All right, now let's read some comics, you fat lard.
Where the fuck did that actor go? I haven't seen him in anything in like a decade.
He did it's
Blades
been
of
like
Glory might have been the last movie I think he was in that I've seen.
I've seen him do like
seen
bit
of.
parts and like. That's a really good question. What the hell did happen to him? I don't know. I guess he just got Napoleon money and said, "I'm fucking retired and see you in Puerto Rico, bitches."
I have to keep working? God. Yeah.
It's like he's just gonna go live at a resort until he runs out of money, comes back, and does a follow up for Napoleon Bonaparte, which people will definitely pay to see.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Napoleon Dynamite 2, that would go hard.
That would, everybody would be like, and Pedro would have to be in it, of course.
Oh yeah. Uh, yeah, I don't think I did give any notes for Titans yet, so I'm just gonna like very quickly run down. Interesting
Fire and all,
stuff.
man.
Interesting stuff. I'm liking this whole direction for Venadia. Though I at the same time feel like this is not a character that's going to last. If she does last, great. I'm all for it. I think she was a Tom Taylor creation, and John Layman brought her back to like really bring her part of the team, and I think that's great. And I think that's a really interesting addition
Oh,
to Titans history, and I'm all for that to stick around. But I am getting the vibe that she's not going to be around for much longer, which I
yeah,
think
I
is a shame.
definitely think she's gonna end up permanently dead.
Yeah, which I think is a very big shame. Um, yeah, that's about all I can say because there's not much else happened in this issue. The Titans fighting with the Justice League again, that's nothing new. That's always going to fucking happen. That's their kids fighting with their parents to be respected as adults, and that's parents don't do that. That's why my sister and I still fight with my mom. That's
What's wrong with
but
you?
my sister's in her 50s. I'm in my 30s. My mom still treats us like we're teenagers. It's never gonna fucking stop. So, um, yeah. So that's the issue. Yeah, 8 out of 10. It's interesting. I'm excited for the next one because I do like a good story with Terra fighting the Titans.
We will have to see how it works out.
Yeah.
And speaking of trying to work and shit out, man, Jesus Christ, talk about a guy who's just been having trouble working shit out.
Yep.
He was this close. He was this close. That close to having a completely crime free city.
Yeah.
And then the police needed backup. I am talking about Nightwing 126, written by Dan Waters, art and colors from Francesco Francavilla, lettering from Wes Abbott, with a cover from Dexter Soy with Adriano Lucas. And just look at it.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Hell
the
yeah.
review. Captain Hollow, the Bloodhaven PD boogeyman, a legend that attacks any cop that turns on another. 4 cops, one of which was shot last issue, are hiding in the Harlow Manor and using that legend to exact revenge against good cops that tell on bad cops. Nightwing almost gets them, but after being attacked at home, Maggie is the one that takes down the last remaining member. Or rather, maybe not. We knew of 4 throughout the thing. The last panel tells us that there might be more soldiers in this battle. Plus all the RoboCop shit that's going on, and the gangs are still all scared and in an uproar and don't know for sure if they can trust Nightwing. There's literally no telling what happens next because we've got no clue who it is that put that mask on at the end. I definitely think it was a cop because it looked like they were hanging up a badge first. Yeah, that's as
Yeah.
much. That's a big of an idea as I've got. I'm not a fan of Francovilla's art in here. The colors
Oh, really?
work good with it, but I'm not aboard. I feel like this art would fit nearly any kind of Dan Waters story, typically the way that he tells a story, but I just don't think that it fits Nightwing, if
Yeah.
that makes sense. I feel this. I don't think that this fits. I don't want to say Cape books, but at least not this one.
Yeah.
The story, though, I am still fully in. I don't hate the art. Again, just don't think it works in this book. Altogether, good stuff. I will give this a 7.5 out of 10.
Right on. I really like this one because the big focus was Maggie Sawyer. It was a Maggie Sawyer centric story.
Yep.
Even though it is a Nightwing book, I really like the character of Maggie Sawyer. I always have, being the captain of Metropolis PD, or chief of Metropolis PD,
Commissioner of Metropolis
commissioner,
PD.
something like that, some high-ranking officer starting with a C of Metropolis PD, and working ever so close with Superman. I always liked her as a character. I thought she was really cool, and seeing her over here, even cooler, because instead of going with the happy-go-lucky city of tomorrow and facing like high-tech crime, she's down in the nitty-gritty and classic guns, murder, and mayhem kind of crime. And it's not too much for her to handle, but it's a different beast, and it's character development for one of my favorite side characters. So I'm all for it. Um, and yeah, this little quick 2-part story arc, really cool stuff. Nightwing is involved at times, but Maggie Sawyer being the centerpiece was really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I really like the art throughout. I do hope we get more of Maggie Sawyer going forward, which I think we will. I felt like this story arc was
Setting
really
her up to
like,
be a big player.
yeah, like
Yeah, I
really
mean, she was
hammering
even.
home that she needs to work with Nightwing more, like she did with Superman,
Yep,
right?
and that I mean, she was the one that took out the last bad guy. Even,
Exactly.
you know. So I
And
think
even though
it's
like she was one of the big pushers of this what do they
anti-vigilante.
call the robots in fucking RoboCop? I can't
I'm
remember.
completely fucking
In
blanking now.
RoboCop, was it RoboCop 2 or was it
That where
RoboCop
they
1?
had the big, yeah, that
The
RoboCop had
big
to fight
giant
against. Yes,
fucking, yeah,
yep.
yeah, those things.
Completely blanking on what that was called
Yeah,
now.
but that would have been a
Seen that
great
movie so
analogy,
many fucking times,
right?
dude.
But yeah, that's a great analogy for what they are, basically those fucking things. She was such a big push for that, and then finally seeing firsthand the dangers and fear that they push onto the community that they're trying to protect. Um, yeah, like she's having a change of heart firsthand, and it's good to see. And I hope that Dan Waters is gonna hammer home Maggie Sawyer working with a hero again, especially in my opinion, a hero that Superman will always fucking vouch for.
Mm-hmm.
Not working with Nightwing, I can understand because they had a big difference in opinion of what to do with these robots and the gangs in the last story arc. I get that they had a big difference of opinion. They had a little tiff. Move past it now. Understand that you need to work together if you want to keep the city safe, right? The last hero you
Mm-hmm.
worked with will vouch for Nightwing 9 out of 9 times. I don't know why I said 9, but the point is there. So I like this little story arc. So it's going to get 9 out of 10 from me, I guess. There's the 9.
All right, on.
Yeah.
Absolutely no mystery how you felt
Yeah.
about that one.
Speaking of stories featuring cop characters, we could call this Batman in Detective Comics, but I'm going to call it Bullock in Detective Comics because this story arc is all about Detective Bullock. This is Elixir Part 1, written by Tom Taylor with art from Lee Garbett, colors from Lee Lawfridge, and letters from Wes Abbott, with the cover from Mikel Yanin. And holy sweet Dinah, what a cover.
It is
However,
pretty damn cool, man.
that signature is not Mikel Yanin's.
Yeah, it is.
It's not Mikel Yanin's cover. Oh, yeah, it is. Sorry.
Yeah,
So
that's
it
your
is.
name.
So it is. Sorry,
Yeah.
that J
I
looked like a
will. I
G.
recognize that motherfucker's art like with only one eye open. I
Yeah.
love that man's art, dude.
As I just it looked like it was saying Gavin for some reason. It did
Nah,
look like Yanin for me, but
yucky.
no, yeah, that's definitely Yanin's signature. All right, so we open up in an undisclosed location where some very highly powerful, I'll say, gang members, if you will, that come across as government officials are torturing some poor doctor. Find out that he does not have the information that they need, and then they shoot him in the head, and then get the hell out of Dodge.
Kaboom.
Meanwhile, in Gotham, in an alleyway, is none other than our good friend Detective Bullock, who is not really a police detective anymore. He is going back to Uh,
He's a
PI.
private dick.
Yeah, he's a private investigator now. Um, because he was fired from the police force by Vandal Savage because he's a dick. And Batman agrees, who also appears to Bullock because where they are standing is the
Hold on,
crime
I just
scene.
want to let our listeners know that that was really fucking funny because he literally does call Savage a dick in the
Oh
book.
yeah,
Is
he does. He actually does, and Batman does agree with him.
Yep.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Um, yeah, the part of the alley they are in is one of the crime scenes where Asima from our last story arc killed one of the kids, and where Batman finally took her down and got her arrested and sent to prison. However, Bullock just feels this isn't done, and Batman feels the same way. That even though they've taken down Asima, they know that she was working with or for somebody, and they can't quite put their finger on who it is. However, Batman does have a name, Elixir. However,
Okay.
Bullock does know somewhat about Elixir, and he goes into a little bit of an adventure he had in his first week on the Force, where he knocked on a door to do a wellness check with his partner, and they find the same people at the beginning of the story arc cutting someone's face open, performing surgery. Bullock screams out and tries to arrest them. However, his partner, who has many years in the Force, kind of just lets it go, takes his payments, um, and gets the hell out of Dodge with Bullock, basically saving Bullock's life because he nearly got a bullet in his face.
Yeah.
Um,
Tell him, Bullock, shut the fuck up. Take some money.
yep. That is the only time Bullock ever heard about them because he was then told by his partner later that anybody that did try to investigate them ended up in a river in a body bag. So he left that alone for a very long time.
As one would.
Yep. The same man that they went to do a wellness check on was murdered in a fire a day later. So, yeah, not much you can do about that.
Nope.
Uh, so Batman says, "I need your help. Then I want to hire you, since you are a private investigator. I want you to get as much information as you can about these people, and we will work together on this case." Leaves him with some contact info, or more. He will contact Harvey. Well, no, Harvey will contact him. Yeah. And then Harvey gets to work, trying to find as much info as he can. Excuse me, comes up with nothing, but then decides to visit his old partner, who has since retired prematurely because he got fired from the force for being a dirty cop. But all his takes, he bought a boat and he lives there now. And that boat is, unsurprisingly, called Ill Gotten Gain. Um,
I missed
so,
that. That's excellent.
yeah. um, so then the pair just sit, have a chat, and drink some coffee and whiskey. Um,
Mm, I need some
and
whiskey right now.
they do talk about Elixir. His old partner does give him as much information as he can, but does tell him to be careful. Just don't get too fucking into it because you might end up dead. And I always liked you. I wanted to keep you safe, and that's why I just kept you as far away from it as possible, and as far away from them because I didn't like um, taking payment from them either. But got to do what you got to do, etc., etc. Harvey then goes back to his office, calls the number that Batman left him. It is to Oracle. Says, "I got something for Batman to see, and I've sent some pictures to this number just in case." Um, okay. Oracle says he'll be on his way. Expect contact soon. However, just as he hangs up, gets a knock at the door, and it is members of Elixir. Bullock tries to take them down, but it's too many people for him to fight alone. An hour later, Batman arrives and finds a struggle, or signs of a struggle. Blood on the floor, spatter from a gunshot. Bullock has been taken. Oracle has traced a van that took Bullock, heading out of the city to an airport. Batman heads out and follows the plane to makeshift runway in Pokolistan. Um, and they follow a van heading out of the plane and out of the airport. Batman follows the van, finds it, ejects from his bat plane, lands on it. It is, well, not a van actually, it's a Humvee. Enters it, takes down the Elixir members inside, and takes off the bag of the head that's held prisoner. And the man is none other than Penguin and not Harvey Bullock. Oh shit.
Oh shit, shit, shit.
Oh shit, 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 shit. So what the fuck happened to Bullock? Because they tracked that thing down to the microsecond. He must still be at that airport, or he's dead. I fucking hope not. But still, the Penguin's involved somehow. Something to do with Elixir. Batman is taking on Elixir, and Bullock is helping him. And I really fucking like this story. For the same reasons I really like the last issue. It followed one of my favorite side characters in superhero history, if you will. I really like Harvey Bullock as a side character. I thought he was always a fun little side piece, a little bit of like like an everyman
Yeah.
To Batman. Like he was like your typical gruff trench coat wearing detective that could work with Batman when he needed to, but at the same time, it's just like this is fucking insane. It's like, yeah, I get it. Yeah, no, he's my guy. Everything he says is accurate, except in the Gotham TV show. I hated him in the Gotham TV show. It's one of the biggest reasons I didn't watch that. But this story arc is quite interesting. It's Harvey and Batman working to take down some mysterious organization. What's not to love? And it also hammers home something that you and I have been clamoring for many years. While Batman is in this, it is a Harvey Bullock centric detective story. So it is Bullock in Detective Comics. It is not
Mm-hmm.
a Batman story. It is a Harvey Bullock story. Being a detective in Detective Comics. Thank you, Tom Taylor. Thank you so
Yes.
much. Because this is
Thank you.
one of my favorite issues right now. Right? This is fucking fantastic. And Batman
It
was not the
is.
focal point. Again,
Yep.
yeah, sure, he was involved. But he was not doing the detective work. He did very little detective work in this entire fucking issue.
Yeah. It's Detective Comics is never going to be a book that has to have Batman in every
Mhm.
panel, and it shouldn't be. But as
Action
far as
Comics,
this goes,
you can
man,
argue that can be about Superman. Action Comics, as he was in number one. You can argue that Action Comics has always been about Superman. Batman debuted in Detective number 27. There was 26 issues of no Batman in Detective Comics. Sure, that was fucking like 80, 90 years ago. But point still
doesn't
stands.
matter.
Doesn't matter. Point
Action
still
Comics and
stands.
Detective Comics are regular comics.
Yeah, exactly.
They have featured Superman and Batman, but they don't
Yeah,
have to feature, and have many times just not done so.
exactly.
It should go back to doing that. But anyway, this is
Exactly.
good.
Yeah.
I am loving Detective right now. The art slams, like always, even
Yeah.
with the new team, Garbett and Lowridge are great here,
Oh,
and
God,
the
yeah.
art matches perfectly with the story. Speaking of which, Taylor got me here. He made Bullock likable.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen with me. Bullock is one of those Batman characters that I look forward to hating, and he
Yeah.
always has been.
Just fair.
He made Bullock likable. It didn't make sense, but I love that it happened. Totally fucking different experience for me, and I'm down with it. Um, the Penguin, how the hell did that happen? Where's Bullock? How'd they make that switch without the Oracle and or Batman seeing?
Exactly.
You ever wish Detective was being released weekly? Because right
Oh,
now I
God.
do.
Yeah. Sometimes, yeah. Right now, yeah.
That's
I wish we had two issues in one week.
what I'm saying.
Give it to
Great
me.
art, great story, and at the end, a hell of a twist.
Yep.
I will give this an 8.5 out of 10.
I'm giving this a 9. Right, 0.25?
9.75.
No,
Sweet
two,
divinity.
two, five, 2.5, 2.5.
Okay.
So it's good. It's not that good. It's good though. I don't know if I want to give it a 2.5, but I think I'll give it a 9.25. I really fucking like this issue.
There you go, and
Yeah.
that is it.
Yeah.
All right, well, my
That is
man,
it.
we've got our
Yeah.
top three and our favorite moment to go over, and I guess I'll just go first because
Go
mine's
for it.
right in front of me. My top three are as follows. Number three goes to Superman Unlimited. Number two goes to Detective Comics. And number 1 goes to New Gods, with my favorite moment actually being in Superman Unlimited because of what it could mean story wise with this with Superman turning gold, with it looking like it's leading into what makes him possible to be Superman Prime and come back from Doomsday. I think we're getting into a biology lesson with Dan Slott. That's what I got from this, and that made me happy.
Yeah,
Let's see where it goes. That's my favorite moment this week.
right on. My number 3 is going to the New Gods. Number 2 is going to Nightwing, and number 1 has to go to Detective Comics. My favorite moments is kind of hard to pin down, but to be honest with you, I kind of want to give it to World's Finest when the past trio ended up in the future and they ended up in front of Lois Lane Superwoman, and Clark just like frozen
Huh?
for a second, like,
Mhm.
wait, but that doesn't, and then Dick was like, hello, come on,
Mhm.
LOD,
Yeah.
we got to take out, let's go.
Pay attention here.
Yeah. Like, I couldn't help but giggle at that was fun.
I can't blame you. All right. Well, then I guess it is now time for the favorite cover.
Detective
We
Comics,
both
just fucking, like, done.
done
But just for shiggles, let's go through them.
just for shiggles.
Yeah,
Detective Comics,
yeah,
Nightwing,
that was really good.
Titans,
That was interesting.
New Gods, World's Finest, and Superman Unlimited.
Now, we both gave our notes for Superman Unlimited and
Yep.
World's Finest already,
Yep.
and neither of them are going to be our number 1. New
No.
Gods looks
I
really good. It is
I like
fan
it.
fucking tastic. My only issue is I can't get past the extended limbs of the Black Racer, and I get what they're going for here, but it's just the arms and legs are way too long.
See, the thing that's throwing me off here is the wording on it. Like I feel like this would look so much better if it didn't say "Run, run! Death is the Black Racer." This is fucking
Yeah,
it
yeah,
doesn't it sounds very corny. It sounds very cheesy, and it doesn't add up with this book whatsoever. Um,
yeah.
well, that's what killed this one for me.
This one's just weird because while
Pete
it
Wood's
does kind of
faces.
have something in to do with the story, it's not the same extent.
No.
No,
And
they
why are there
really made it
tentacles in the
sound.
background?
I mean, that's Gar being Gar. You're just being stupid.
Mhm.
But like that this whole cover, especially with the text saying "Fatal Error," really makes it look like this is a Cyborg heavy issue where something really bad is going to happen to Cyborg. And to their credit, yeah, something bad did happen to Cyborg, but it wasn't that bad. Right? he
No, and it
he
was
walked
wrapped
it
up in a
off.
page, and he was like, "Ah, don't worry
Yeah,
about it. I'll take care of it when we go home."
yeah. Vanadium is not even on the cover.
Nope.
This one is really cool,
I fucking love the way Dexter Soy draws Nightwing.
right? Right?
hmm
Yeah.
This is awesome. Dexter Soy is in my top 5. Always will be. I absolutely love the cityscape. I love what they did with Captain Hollow. I love the way that he draws Nightwing. His cloud work is amazing, but there's nothing that's going to beat this book.
Yeah. Apart from the fact that it's by Mikhail Yanin is enough to sell it, it's just
It
it looks so good. And this is the
does.
crazy part. It's such a simple shot of Batman standing on a rooftop, radio swing, and you've seen it a dozen and a half times in the past. Hell, you've seen
Yep.
it a dozen and a half times in the past year. But
You
it's
want
just
to talk
this
about
looks so
simple? I
good,
dare anybody to try and draw that cape.
right?
Draw that cape. I dare you.
Yeah. And you got the bats in the background and the coloring with the moonlight in the background and just even like the scaffolding he's standing on top of the roof with the fan in the background and the fucking antennas, like, oh my god, it's drawn so bloody well.
Very, very.
Yeah. The only thing I have to say about it is it looks like he's puffing out his chest. maybe a bit too much.
Standing up straight. He's on a platform.
Yeah, that chest is like he's look at my pecs. It's just
Daddy got gains.
I'll show the villains something to fear. It's just that's a little much. That's my only gripe, but it's not even that big a gripe because the rest of the fucking page is fan fucking tastic. So I think I have to
It
give
could
it
be
to
Mike
this.
Diodato, you know.
It
My
could be.
pecs are gonna be so big they're pokes.
Yeah. Like I'll give it to that Nightwing cover as well. It is fan fucking tastic. That Nightwing cover is
It really
gorgeous
is.
and
That's
a
some
half.
good shit.
But it's just like, God, that something about that Detective Comics cover is just so much nicer because it's subtle,
Honestly, it's the
right?
technical ability to be able to do that cape,
Yeah,
that fan, and the way that he did that pedestal 3D while doing Batman not
yeah,
sells it. It was fucking perfect.
yeah,
Fucking
yeah. So
perfect.
gotta go
Detective
Detective.
Comics.
Yeah,
Favorite one.
done.
Done.
Woohoo!
That's what she said.
Yeah. And let's see what we have next week to look forward to.
What do we have next week to look forward to?
Well, that will include our last week of the month. That will include Batman number 160, another part of Hush 2. Hooray,
Ooh, ooh.
hooray. Superman number 26, our next part of Summer of Superman. Justice League Unlimited number 7, which is part 5 of the crossover. Green Arrow number 24. Green Lantern number 23. The Flash number 21. And Mr. Terrific Year 1 number 1. A lot of interesting books coming out next week.
Hell yeah. Looking forward to it.
I think I already know what my favorite cover is going to be. That Green Arrow cover looks really interesting.
Oh
really,
man,
really good use of negative space. Holy shit.
I'm a huge Stephen Colbert fan. You know
Who
that,
isn't?
right?
Yeah.
Like massive Stephen Colbert fan. Guess what is coming out next month?
Stephen Colbert.
He has been immortalized like our friend Glenn, who actually had it done
Ooh.
first.
Oh,
Just
shit.
putting that out there.
Yeah.
Glenn had it done first. But Stephen Colbert is going to be on the cover of The World's Finest, interviewing Superman and Batman.
Oh, right. Forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I have never wanted a cover so badly in my life, and that includes the Harley Quinn marijuana one, which I never got, by the way.
I didn't
6
even know that was
different
a thing.
comic book stores that I went to, and I never got my Harley Quinn weed one. That bummed me out so much.
Wait, Batman.
And the
actually
internet
made
says
Echo?
it smelled just like it.
Holy fuck. Apparently, in 2 weeks, Batman 89 Echoes number 6 comes out.
Yeah, about time.
I thought that finished.
No, 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 no.
Apparently, the last issue was in December. And finally, the last chapter is here. Holy shit, folks. What the fuck happened?
I don't know. What happened? DC's weird ass release schedule. What was it that we had last week? Last week we had 6 pages of the back ass of every single issue that got released, previewing Supergirl number 1 at the same week that Supergirl number 1 was released. That's not how you get pre-sales.
Nope.
The fuck is wrong with you? That was clearly a bad decision.
Yep.
Clearly.
Yeah, I'm trying to find. Oh, there's. Okay, it's a. Oh, it's a Dan Mora cover with Stephen Colbert on it.
Yeah,
Even
dude, you're
better.
telling me to look at it. It's fucking gorgeous.
Yeah. That's cool. It's a variant cover though, so good fucking luck. If I find it, I'll pick it up for you and send it to you.
I want it so bad, but it's a variant cover that I'm after, so it won't be anywhere. Especially not in Georgia. It'll probably be fucking outlawed in Georgia.
Oh shit.
Yeah, because you can't. Oh, anyway, all right. Well, we're sitting around and getting ready to start breaking down and bullshitting with each other. I'm gonna say goodbye to you guys. That is the show. We're getting out of here, so you'll have to as well. Be careful out there, and remember, in the Geek Matrix, everybody has a home. In the Geek Matrix, you are not alone.
Peace.